Next, we have Rebecca Barford-Ryan, another architect of the WiDS event that we're all enjoying today, and a managing consultant with IBM, as well as being a WiDS ambassador. And with 7 years of data consulting experience under her belt, Rebecca's work spans healthcare, consumer goods, and financial services, and both the public and private sectors. So please welcome Rebecca.
So, I have a confession to make. I'm not a data scientist. But that doesn't mean the work that I do, which is data management, does not have a valuable place in the data science and AI communities. Data management is the foundation of valuable data science and AI. My name is Rebecca Barford-Ryan. I'm a managing consultant with IBM, specializing in data. I'm also a Women in Data Science ambassador and have been for the past 3 years. Data science and AI are the hot topics at the minute. They're really cool and fun areas to be involved with. But for these areas to be worthwhile, they really need to sit on a quality data bedrock. They need to have a solid data foundation. And that's the role of data management. So, today, I'm going to talk to you about 3 areas in particular. The first, the importance of data management. The second, an industry example. And the third, the impact that this example had. From a business perspective, I'm going to cut straight to the chase. Poor data management costs money. It costs more money than avoiding it altogether. A recent Gartner report showed that, on average, across the globe, organizations spend $12.9 million per year because of poor data quality. As the old adage goes, rubbish in, rubbish out. If you don't have robust data management processes in place, how can you say that your analytics insights are accurate or that your model is appropriately trained? So, while data management may not be the cool area to be in at the minute, it is definitely vital for all organizations. All organizations need to have a robust data management process in place and set practices. If you are starting to worry about hallucinations or bias, I urge you to take a step back in your process and have a look, first of all, about where your data is coming from. Now, there is a caveat here in that data management is not a silver bullet, unfortunately. It's not going to be 100% effective in preventing hallucinations. But you have to start somewhere, and you have to have the strong foundation in place as a starting point. Without adequate data management, organizations across all industries face huge risks. Risks of not being compliant, losing their competitive advantage, financial risks, and that can even go down to the day-to-day of keeping the doors open. If we use 23andMe as an example, you might have heard of them recently and their recent fall from grace. They were valued at $6 billion, and they were recently rescued from bankruptcy at just $256 million. They're a genealogy DNA testing company. And the real pain point or root of their downfall was constant litigation due to their data privacy, data control management processes in place over their genetic data that they have. So, that's a clear example of data management practices gone wrong and being catastrophic for an organization. Obviously, no organization wants that to happen to them. So, how do you prevent it? The answer? Simple. Accurate, complete, high-quality data. So obvious. It's as if nobody ever thought of it. But, of course, it can be very hard to get to there. So, a few starting points, because of course it's easier said than done, but there's some good starts that you can take. The first is reliable data sources. The second, reliable ingestion and integration methods if you're using multiple sources. The third, reliable pre-processing, cleansing, and transformation methods to standardize your content. Every organization needs to have an overarching strong governance framework in place. This will help you handle your data, understand how you do that with consideration to ethics, understand how you store your data, considering data security, and understand how you remain compliant, considering the EU AI Act and GDPR. Also, remember, just because you have the data doesn't mean that you can use it in any way you wish. You need to know what data you have, what data you hold, and what data you can use so that you are able to generate the best insights and value for your organization, whether that's a business or whether that's a nonprofit. So data management really is a huge area. There's loads of different places that you can get involved with. I'll give you one example, a quick example, of an area that I was involved with. So join me for a minute in the depths of December 2020. Ireland and the world were in the midst of a global pandemic. There was a national lockdown and panic was widespread. Ireland had miraculously just received their first shipment of the COVID-19 vaccinations. However, Ireland had no way of recording vaccination administration centrally. So while the HSE was assembling a team of vaccinators to administer all of the vaccines, they didn't have a centralized database in which they could record the administered vaccines. So IBM and Salesforce joined forces with the HSE, and that's where I came in as well. I was the IBM data lead for the project, working with the HSE on managing their data management and leading their analytics insights. The database and the platform was across 50 million records. So, if you think for a minute, pause, and consider the scale of this system and the complexity. You have over 4.5 million citizens. Each of them have received multiple doses of vaccination. They have multiple combinations of vaccines, if you remember the whole comparison about which vaccine to get. And you're also recording everything that goes with receiving a vaccine. So this is prime healthcare data. Now think of this system in the context of a national and global public health emergency. Do you think there was much room for error in the data management processes there? No, definitely not. If there had been poor data management processes there, you may not have received the dose that could have saved your life. You may not have received a dose that enabled you to visit your loved ones who are vulnerable, or ease the pressure on our struggling health service. And you may never have gotten a COVID cert because you didn't have enough data. And you may never have gone back to your favorite restaurant, which was a simple and light reprieve during the challenging times of lockdown. So, if it isn't clear yet, let me make it clear. Data management is highly valuable and can have a real impact. If you're not involved in a current trendy job in data science or AI, I urge you not to panic. There are plenty of areas that you can get involved with that make a difference. As of today, you're part of the Women in Data Science Network. So, while you're here, I urge you all to connect with each other, learn from each other, discuss new topics and areas that you could pivot into. I urge you to figure out where you fit into the overall data science puzzle and see where your career path could take you. Think outside of the standard career path constraints and figure out what impact you can make so that you can use data to be a change for good. I leave you now with those calls to action, and I ask you to remember 3 things from today. The first, data management is the foundation for valuable data science and AI. The second, data management can make an impact, a positive impact, across organizations and beyond. And the third, your career trajectory is in your own hands, so try and use it to do some good in the world. Thank you very much for your time.